In the hard gray chairs at the doctor's office, me and a man with a terrible cough. It's 11 a.m., the doctor is late, nothing there to do but wait. He handed me a wrinkly business card, told me of his young years working hard, small engine repair, tractors and mowers, back in the days when the world moved slower. He had loved every minute of the simple life, a lot less simple since he lost his wife. She had died last June, her lungs full of cancer. He took all the tests, he was waiting for answers. His hands were shaking, he looked so nervous as he handed me the card that said, "At your service." At the funeral home when the paperwork came, I remember the card and I remembered his name. The obituary short, no next to kin. We only had to print a few bulletins for the half dozen people that had gathered there, fanning themselves in their hard gray chairs. Workers from the home where the old man lived, sympathy cards with nobody to give. The minister comforted in their loss, and everybody rose for the old rugged cross. We carried him down to where the grass was mown, his wife and his son's names carved in stone. As we covered the grave with a shovel of dirt, I remembered the card with the words, "At your service."
That's it's one of those, it's almost like a great transition song, you know, because it's like, it's got this great little compact story into itself. And it sort of just, it's short and tight. It's so hard to write a good short song, right? You know, to like, in terms of, to make something a full storyline kind of stuff, and then to make it within like the whole struggle, like back in like, you're gonna make a song that's got to fit in 305, like this the Billy Joel, the Entertainer song. We got to cut it down. It's the best song I ever wrote in my life, but they had to shorten it for the radio cut, you know, down to 305. You know, and it's so true that to write something, even on a paper or an article, like, you know, like I'll write and like, okay, that's like about 300,000 words too long to make it succinct, right? And to say the things in a way that's conveys what you want without being verbose, you know, to really distill it like poetry, right? And to do that, this is one of those songs that does a great job of just kind of like, I feel like if you're listening to an album, you know, you've got like these big da-da-da, and then you've got this little song that's sort of stuck in there that's kind of quirky. It's got a little twist, and it sort of sucks you in like before you know it, and it's over, and the story is like, oh, that was great. You know, Rule number 1 of performance: make them leave wanting more.
Oh, you know what? I'm glad that jumped out to you, because that was a very deliberate effort. I feel like in the beginning, the songs were all really long and really wordy. And we mentioned In the City. It is like a classic example of that. Holy, it's a whopper. And yeah, I set myself a goal of writing shorter songs. One of my favorite songwriters, and now one of my best friends, is David Francie. And he was a carpenter, and I feel like his songs, like, they were just cut to fit. There's nothing, there's no excess.
Measure twice, cut once.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They say everything they need to. So I wanted to work on that. But I feel like specifically for that song, it was important and apt because one of the things I feel like has inspired me writing songs, I don't think it's a coincidence that I started working as a funeral director at the same time I started writing songs, like really exactly. And one of the crafts that you have to do when you are a funeral director is writing obituaries. And one of the key things about writing obituaries is brevity, because you have to pay the newspaper by the length of the obituary.
You get it. You totally get it.
It is an art to keep things concise and keep it trimmed down. So yeah, I'm pleased that was notable too. It's a funny thing to compliment someone on how short their songs are. It's like, thank you for not putting us through any more.